Well,
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of A Man's World USA. I don't have a guest this week, but I have an awful lot to say. Let's start with the terrible tragedy that took place in Minneapolis this week. I can't even imagine, losing a child that way. I'm so angry with the mainstream media. They just don't get it. They just don't get it. Like, they have their heads so far up their asses, they will never get it, right?
Don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
He's expressing something that I know you feel and most people feel, which is a combination of sadness, but raw rage. Forget about thoughts and prayers. These kids were literally praying when they were murdered through a church window.
You're not going to take prayer away from people because this happened while the kids were praying in a church. If you're going to use that to try to convince people, there are some people who are on the fence and need God and they need Jesus Christ, and you're swaying them away from that. So it just proves to me that the left is just nothing but pure evil. And I think people with common sense can see it. All the things that they spew out the left, and I'm talking about talking bobblehead media who are on puppet strings, right? For the left, they keep trying to push God away. And guess what? We're not going to stop praying. We're not going to stop our faith. We're going to keep going. In fact, our faith is only going to get stronger because this is just a sign that we need God now more than ever. God didn't do that. So stop saying shit like that. It was at the hands of the transgender shooter, Robert, right? His name is Robert Westman. He was born a male, and I'm tired of people appeasing these mentally ill people by calling them her when they're born men. He killed a lot of people. And not only has he, but a lot of transgender, which shows that the issue is not guns. So stop with that too, media. CNN, MSNBC, like, you guys are so full of shit. And you still don't get it. You're driving more people away from the Democratic Party every time you open your fucking mouth. Here's the thing. Minneapolis, Catholic school shooting, transgender. Nashville, Covenant, school shooting, transgender. 2019 STEM school, Highlands Ranch shooting in Colorado, non-binary, okay, trans, whatever. And 2018, the Aid warehouse shooting in Maryland, also happened to be a transgender. So there's a pattern here of mental illness. So stop blaming guns. They don't shoot themselves. Okay. There's the people behind it. And the people behind the shootings are mentally ill. Now, I'm going to say something that may not resonate well with the conservative community, but I don't care. It's my opinion. There's a difference between people who actually suffer from gender dysphoria, and there's a difference between them and the kids who were pumped and groomed into believing that they're transgender. And now it turns out, that's fucking with their mind, and you're making them crazy. People, the adults behind this pushing of this narrative, they're making their own kids crazy. Well, I think all those parents that push their kids into having, the girls having their double mastectomies and the guys, I don't know, losing their penises and I guess being put on hormones, all of these kids, it will change their life forever. And these parents should be held accountable for creating these crazy messes that they create. The insanity is real, and the insanity is real. And then here comes the media. I mean, it's almost like you're going 3, 2, 1, boom. And you can expect what they're going to say. Guns. What's it going to take for this? Stop. Okay. Go fuck yourselves. We are in America and we will not give up our guns. What we need is mental health programs to help kids, in schools. Instead of pushing them towards the transgender ideology, they should be seeking counseling. And those teachers and counselors at the schools should be trying to get to the bottom of what makes you think you're this. And when the moment they say, well, my mom told me I was, my crazy mom or my crazy dad, whatever, they should stop it and say, turn them in and slap some child abuse charges on those people. I mean, something has to be done about these crazy people who have kids and push them into being transgender, where later they want to kill themselves because they made a mistake. And that's what happens. They go out and not only do they kill themselves, but they kill everybody else. The second thing, the media, again, they're always such liars, and media is pushing not only the anti-gun narrative, anti-God narrative now. They're lying about what this guy was and what he stood for and what his issues were. They say he hated every group. No, he didn't. He hated conservatives. He hated Christians. He hated Jews. He promoted, the transgender communities. He was pro-Palestine. So he's basically, it's like if somebody wrote a Democrat, far left liberal handbook, which we already know the talking points, right? And they opened it up. He hit all the bullet points. All of the talking points that Democrats spew out of their mouths every day. That's what this guy was about. So the Democrats who keep spewing out this hate should be accountable too. I mean, they try to make President Trump accountable for J6, even though he told people to be peaceful. They try to hold him accountable for this. And it's like, you guys are spewing out the hate every day. So shut it. The media should not be allowed to spew out this communist propaganda to try to weaken our nation. They got to stop. Here's what I propose. There should be a committee who is set up. I know the FCC is supposed to do that, but they're not. Or work with the FCC to hold these media people accountable. So in other words, it's a 3-strike system, right? First strike of misinformation or spewing, communist propaganda, you get a warning and a slap on the wrist. Second, you get a hefty fine and maybe lose your license for 30 days. And the third one, you get a hefty fine and you get shut down. You lose your license, you're done. The media, all they are is talking mouthpieces for the Democratic Party. They spew out the lies. They spew out the hate. They try to take away all that is good and godly, and they keep putting in their shit, evil stuff. So that's got to stop. I mean, it's up to us conservatives to put a stop to it by starting with your local representatives, right? People who handle on a local level, on a city level, then on a state level, and then county, state, and then going on to federal. If you make enough noise, you can make a difference. So as a conservative who has gotten silenced, kicked off of platforms, like fucking TikTok and Meta and other platforms, LinkedIn, why wasn't this guy flagged? There should have been red flags everywhere. If you have a system where you kind of like you go after conservatives with those keywords, you should be going after these crazy people. Stop going after conservatives and start going after these crazies. You know what? I'm going to say that they probably don't on purpose so they can keep pushing their anti-Second Amendment right narrative to take our guns away. So they can blame, the guns, responsibility that the media, that the platforms have, that they allow the hate that should go against their community guidelines, but they decide to silence conservatives who are trying to tell the truth. By the way, President Trump, please force China to sell TikTok, because I'm tired of getting kicked off for nothing, just spreading the truth. I get kicked off because they say it's divisive. But as soon as a liberal gets on there and starts bashing conservatives, they let it. I've turned them in. I just did a test one day because I got kicked off for posting a video of a guy.
He's still hurting because you know what? He kind of flew in from one of his mansions during the campaign and thought, well, yeah, Barack Obama's here. He did the same thing when he's talking about wealthy liberals with black males. He went up to them and, just because you're, some of your black male, I hear, you like a strong leader and you like Donald Trump, and don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be fooled. Let me tell you what's good for you. I know what's in your real interest. They just basically said, okay, go back in your jet and go back in your Gulfstream and get back here. I don't want to listen to you anymore.
We've had enough of him.
Everybody is sick of him. And every time Michelle opens her mouth, it's all you have to do is say, what is the grievance meter? 1 to 10. Oh, you don't know how much I had to pay. We had to pay for our own food at the White House. They raised the bar on us. Oh, we had to get clothes.
I think
people look at me and they all say, "What's she wearing today?" Oh, so I'm such a victim. That's how she does.
She throws the grievance meter way off the scale.
She's a cry bully too. She's passive aggressive. She's always bullying somebody, and so is he. Why don't they just go away? He had his 8 years. He wrecked the country. That was the idea. We're only 5 days away from fundamentally transforming. You did it. You gave us Obamacare. You destroyed our foreign policy. You let Putin into Ukraine. You did everything you wanted to do. And you got into your Trayvon Martin thing. You got in your beer summit thing. You got in all of that.
Gave a lot of power to Iran thing as well.
Valerie Jarrett and you got your Iranian thing. Why don't you just go back and crawl back where you go back to Hawaii and sit there and go on your yachts with your Hollywood celebrities? We're sick of you.
Yeah.
They warned me and said if I did it anymore, I was going to get kicked off. So I did a little test, and there was some hate being spewed towards conservatives, people calling us crazy, mean names, whatever, but they were cyberbullying. And I turned them in because it goes against supposedly their community guidelines, right? Nope. They came back with me with no issue. So they're blatant about it. So President Trump, let's force China to sell the Communist Party, to sell TikTok to an American who's going to be America first. And I hope that whoever considers buying this would be more like Elon Musk, who basically gave us back our First Amendment rights and to be able to tell the truth. So, okay, now I'm going to move on. Who else is extremely livid and pissed with Jerry Jones? I mean, he's making it hard for fans to stay fans of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, most of us who follow them and are avid fans, we're not going to change, but it's making it hard for me to want to buy jerseys, to want to buy the merch. Jerry Jones, I hate to say this because we all get old, right? We're all getting old, but you need to call it quits, man. You paid one of the most least talented quarterbacks an insane amount of money. He did not deserve what you gave him in his contract. Dak Prescott, he should have been gone 2 seasons ago. But nope, what do? You fucking pay him what he's not worth. So that didn't leave a whole lot to work with budget-wise when you have players like Micah Parsons, who would have been he was invaluable to the Cowboys, especially with the shitty quarterback that we have. Are you kidding me? Stop. Oh my gosh. I can't believe when I saw that you traded him, and you think it's good for the Cowboys, you're mistaken. You should have done that with Dak Prescott. I've been saying this for a couple of years now, and you need to just pass on the baton now. Let somebody who has their wits about them make these decisions moving forward, because you are doing a terrible job. I think you were good for the Cowboys at the beginning, but maybe it's been a solid 15 years since we could see the decline in your decision making, but it's gotten worse. So, I mean, I don't want to become a Kansas City fan, but I will if it means, just moving away from the Cowboys, because I can't take it anymore. It's like you break my heart all the time. Okay. I can't. And I'm, wanting to enjoy football season. And then I just get all like someone just punched me in the gut because you're making these bad decisions, Jerry. Jerry, stop. Let your kids take over, please, for the love of God and all that is holy. Stop. You're ruining the Cowboys. I'm just saying, you're ruining the Cowboys. So, okay, that's my take. This is going to be a short episode. I just had a lot to get off my chest regarding the unfortunate tragedy that happened in Minneapolis and the evil left spewing their lies. And it's their agenda that causes these crazy transgender kids to come out and do something so evil and stupid. They're evildoers, and the media needs to stop spewing their shitty lies too. So I I guess that's all I have. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great Labor Day weekend and enjoy your time off with your family and friends. And give thanks to God. Remember, everyone, always give thanks to God for all of our blessings. All right. Catch you later.